What's up, FPL family? It's -4 points. It's another weekly preview video. We're just coming out of an international break. It's been a long, hard 2 weeks of no FPL action. I know I sympathize with all the FPL managers out there who are struggling, but we're coming back, and the good news is there's no more breaks, no more international breaks until March next year now. So we've got a juicy period ahead of us. We've got lots of FPL game weeks in this festive period. I'm really looking forward to December. It's going to be a lot of game weeks. It's going to be a lot of chance for people to move up your mini leagues, move up those overall ranks. I think it's an important part of the season, and I'm really looking forward to it. These are new. This is my new background. The Tetris pieces, they're here to stay because FPL is like Tetris and it looks like a nice background. But FPL is like Tetris because you need the right pieces, you need the cheap players, you need the expensive players, you need the midfielders, the strikers, and then now and again you get that transfer, which is like the long piece which comes along, and you need that to complete the team. So FPL is like Tetris. That's a new motto. Number 2, we're looking forward to the up and coming game weeks. And in this video, we're going to look at last week, how I did before the international break, which was game week 11. We're going to be taking a look at the coming game week 12, so my team for game week 12. And I'm going to be showing you my watch list, which is the players that I haven't yet brought in, but who are the players who I'm looking forward to bringing in the future. So let's get started with looking at how I did last week. It seems like years ago at the start of this international break, but how I finished and how I did in game week 11. This is how I did. So this is how I did in game week 11. It was a fairly respectable score of 62 points. Fairly happy with that. I'm still recovering from a couple of game weeks when I captained Havertz instead of Salah. Salah got a hat-trick. I'm still recovering from that game week, but it's a good game week. It's another green arrow. I'm slowly moving my way back up the overall ranks. I'm happy with how the team's looking. 62 points was good for game week 11. There were people that did a lot worse. My overall game rank was fairly good that week. And Sanchez in goal was a disappointment. I was hoping that Sanchez was almost becoming a little bit of a differential because a lot of people have jumped to Ramsdale or tested out other goalkeepers. I've stuck with Sanchez, and I'm almost hoping that he was kind of going to become a kind of differential with people having Ramsdale, and I haven't got Ramsdale because I just have other transfers to do. It's very hard to change a goalkeeper and have that as your one transfer that week. So sticking with Sanchez was disappointing last week with his red card. It's not so bad for me because I've got Steele on the bench. If you've got Sanchez in goal and another goalkeeper like Raya or another goalkeeper from another team, it's a little bit more of an issue for you because if that other goalkeeper doesn't have good games, you've now got a bit of a problem. And some people are having to get rid of Sanchez. I'm keeping him because I've got Steele on the bench, and Brighton still have okay fixtures. So I can just have Steele now, and then Sanchez will come back in for me when he's back. So not happy with the -1 from Sanchez. In defence, everyone did fairly decent returns. Chilwell was a bit of a surprise with just 2, but Diaz 6, Livramento 6, Trent 12. Can't complain with the points in defence. In midfield, Salah got 5. He was my captain, Salah 5, so he gave me 10 points. It's a little bit disappointing with Salah because he started the season so well, and then in the last 2 games he hasn't scored, and he set the bar so high for himself that he's not scored, but still, I'm not worried about Salah yet. He's had two weeks off. He has Arsenal this week. He'll still be my captain again. I'm still recovering from the week when I didn't captain Salah and I captained Havertz, and Havertz did nothing. So for now, I'm still on perma-captain Salah. He will still stay my captain. Smith Rowe came into the team with 8 points. Very happy with that. He looks exciting. He looks attacking. Havertz as well delivered. So Havertz, I brought him in for these 3 weeks when Lukaku and Werner were both going to be out. I'm happy Havertz gave me a return on what is his last week for me in my team. It was always the plan to bring him in only for 3 weeks. So I'm happy he leaves the team having given us something. And Rafinha, 9 points again for Rafinha. He doesn't seem to be hitting the double digits, but if he hits 9 most weeks, I'm very happy with him to continue doing that. So happy with the midfield. Up front, it was disappointing. Ronaldo won, Tony won. I'm less disappointed in Ronaldo because he had a harder fixture. Tony, on the other hand, Norwich, he should have given me something more. It should be the last week for Tony, I think. A lot of people are saying You need to be patient with Tony, but I've had him for a few weeks now. He's not delivering. Brentford don't look as good as they first did. I don't know if it's because their goalkeeper got injured. I don't know if it's just because they're getting tired or that the Premier League has worked Brentford out and they're less of a surprise. But for me, I just think Tony he's too much of a risk. He's too much with him and Mbeumo up front. You've got the two of them playing, and Tony's not always going to be getting the points, and Mbeumo might get the points some weeks. And I'm less confident about Brentford players now. So I'm looking at taking Tony out. I'm looking at taking Havertz out. But that's the team. 62 points. Happy with another green arrow. I only did one transfer last week. Happy I didn't take any hits. So we move forward. So next I'm going to show you my watch list. These are players who I've not brought in this week, but that I'm looking to bring into in the near future, or that I'm just keeping an eye on in case they start to deliver points soon. So that's how I did for game week 11. Let's take a look at my watch list now. So these are the 5 players on my watch list. I should say this international break has been a time of new managers. You've got Conte, who's now starting to settle in at Spurs. This international break will give Conte a nice time to work on the training ground, work with the players that haven't gone on international duty. And also it's worth noting that this international break is slightly shorter than the other ones in terms of how many games the players are playing. So they're going to be coming back slightly early. They're going to have more time on the training ground just to work through tactics, and especially for Conte, I think that's going to be really good. Spurs have 4 great fixtures, which is why Reguilon's first on my watch list. They've got 4 great fixtures coming up. I haven't yet put Reguilon in my team. And that's just because of how many good defenders I have at the moment. I think a lot of people have Trent, Livramento, and then a City and a Chelsea, and then most people have doubled up on Chelsea or City. So we've got a lot of great defensive options this year. A lot of people are going heavy at the back. So Reguilon, it's hard to put him in the team right now just because the people who are in the team have good fixtures and are playing well. And I haven't yet seen for definite that Spurs are going to be defensively solid. I do think they will be. I do think Conte is going to have his time at Spurs. He's going to get the team playing how he wants. He's going to have the attacking wing backs, so Reguilon and probably Emerson on the other wing. It's just, I'm holding off for now just because Spurs are I'm more interested in Spurs' attacking assets, Kane and Son, and I'm waiting to see how they do defensively. I'm waiting to see. So for now, Reguilon's on the watch list. Wilson, another one with a new manager. So I've got a Spurs player, I've got a Newcastle player, and I've got a Villa player on the watch list because they've got Conte, Eddie Howe's taken over at Newcastle, and Gerrard's taken over at Aston Villa. So I'm expecting a new manager bounce from those 3 teams. Wilson was already the #1 striker for Newcastle, so I was already looking at Wilson as a kind of cheap striker. If he can pick up some form, he could be a nice cheap option. However, it's worth noting Newcastle are still a relegation team. They're still in the bottom 3, and it's very rare that you want a striker from the bottom 3 to kind of be relying on for regular goals. So with Wilson, it's almost, I'm kind of waiting to see if him and Eddie Howe pick up the connection they had at Bournemouth, if Wilson gets a bit confident, and it also depends on if Newcastle pick up form as a team. I don't just want Wilson because he had a connection with Eddie Howe. I want a striker who's playing in a team with good confidence. So for now, I'm holding off Wilson. If Newcastle pick up a bit of form, Wilson's definitely a player I want to bring in the future. The next player is Lamptey. I'm very excited about Lamptey because, again, he's a cheaper defender. He's cheaper than Reguilon, so it would be easier to bring him into the team and just be a bench player or play if Brighton have a good fixture. And he's very attacking. He made his first start last game. I saw a map of where all the players were playing, and Lamptey was playing further forward than most of the strikers. So he's very attacking. He's playing for a team that keep clean sheets. If Lamptey can stay fit, that's a big thing for Lamptey. If he can keep his fitness, he could be a great player to bring in the future. I'm just waiting to see if he stays in the team and if Brighton continue their good form this season. The next player is Bailey. Now, like I said, Villa have a new manager in Steven Gerrard. I'm expecting a bounce. They've got a lot of attacking players. They just weren't clicking. A lot of us had Buendia. A lot of us had Bailey. A lot of us had the strikers earlier on in the season. And it just hasn't worked for Villa this season. So I'm hoping with Gerrard coming in, possibly Bailey could be the one to bring in. It could be a different player. It could be McGinn. We don't know how Gerrard's going to set that team up yet. They've got the two strikers as well. We don't know which one he's going to play. If he plays one of them on the wing, I'm going to wait and see with Villa. But Bailey or another one of the Villa assets are firmly on my watch list, because if Gerrard can hit on the ground running with Villa, Bailey could be an exciting option. And the last player on the watch list this week is Cornet. So Burnley they're an interesting team. They always seem to have some fantasy assets every season. It used to be defenders. It used to be sort of the goalkeeper or one of the wing backs for Burnley. And in recent years, Dwight McNeil's done good, and Chris Wood seems to pop up with goals every now and again. So Burnley are always interesting for fantasy players, and I think Cornet is the current player who he's down as a midfielder on the game and he's playing up front. So that already gives him an edge. You're already wanting to have those kind of players in your team that are being wrongly positioned by fantasy. So I'm just waiting to see with Cornet, because he did score a few games in a row and he did have a good start. He didn't do much last week, but it was a tricky fixture. So I'm keeping my eye on Cornet, hoping that he could be the sort of Umbremo player almost, where he's a midfielder who's playing up front and returning regularly. For now, I'm holding off. He didn't make my team this week because I have done other transfers. We'll get to those next. This is my team coming up for game week 12. So this is my team for game week 12. I've stayed on brand. -4 points is the name of the show. We've done it again. We've taken an extra transfer this week and we've taken another -4 point hit. I am happy with the hit though. I'm fairly confident on the hit. I felt like I had to take out Havertz this week because Lukaku's back in training. I'm expecting Lukaku back in, so I didn't want to keep Havertz. I needed Havertz gone. So I took out Havertz and I brought in Gallagher. Now, for me, that's a good move. Gallagher looks very exciting. He's playing very well for Palace, so Gallagher's now in the midfield. And with Palace's fixtures, they've got a good run of fixtures now. I can see myself keeping Gallagher in a team for many weeks, so he's almost a kind of set and just leave and forget now. I think, unlike Havertz, where Havertz was only in for 3 weeks, Gallagher, I feel like he's in there for a while now. So, barring any injuries or suspensions or a massive drop of form, which I think will be unlikely, Gallagher's in the team for Havertz. So that's one transfer I feel very confident making. I don't even know if Havertz will play, so Gallagher should play. So I'm very happy with that. And he's just made his England debut. Confidence is going to be up. I feel good with bringing Gallagher into the team. Then I had a lot of money left over because Gallagher was cheaper than Havertz and I already had money left over. So I had a big chunk of money just sat on my bench. And so I wasn't certain about Tony. I wasn't certain about Brentford. I've gone off Brentford. I'm a little bit like that. If you don't score, if you don't return against Norwich, and you haven't returned in a few weeks before that, that's a sign for me that no more. I'm not waiting around. We're taking a -4 hit and we're bringing in Harry Kane. So Tony to Kane, massive upgrade, uses all the money. In the bank, I've now got nothing left in the bank. I did the transfer yesterday, which is slightly early for me. However, I didn't want the price rises to happen. If Kane's price goes up by 0.1, I couldn't afford this transfer. So Ronaldo's got an excellent fixtures coming up. He's got a few tricky games in the next 3 game weeks, and then he's got an amazing sea of green fixtures. And I expect everybody will be getting Ronaldo come about game week 15. So I've stuck with Ronaldo, not because always I wanted to. I had other transfers to make other weeks, and then Ronaldo picked up a bit of form. And even when Man United haven't been doing great, Ronaldo's looked like a good player. He's been scoring even if the team's bad. So Ronaldo's staying in my team, and it's almost a differential at the moment because a lot of people got rid of Ronaldo and I still have him. So I'm sticking with Ronaldo and hoping that when his fixtures turn good, I just don't have that transfer to make, so he's in the team. And with Kane, it was either Kane or Son for Spurs. And I think looking at my midfield, bringing in Son would mean I would have to take out Smith Rowe, Gallagher or Rafinha. I just think, and Salah's going nowhere. So I just think I like those cheap midfielders. I like the 3 of them. There's not one that I want to take out. Whereas up front, I think there's a problem with strikers in FPL this year. There's not that. I can't think of any strikers so far. We've had 12 game weeks that have been consistent all 12 weeks. You know, we had Antonio at the beginning. We had Ronaldo and Lukaku for a few weeks here and there. Kane hasn't really put together a good run of form. So no strikers The cheap strikers even. No strikers have been putting together a consistent form. And the defenders have been doing well, so I'm changing my strategy this year. Usually I play 3 strikers all the time. This year, the strikers just aren't reliable. So I'm going 4 at the back where the defenders are solid, the midfield 4, and then 2 up front. And I think if I go Kane and Ronaldo, they both can't not hit consistently. They're both due to score now and again. I feel more confident having 2 strikers like that. Maybe I bring in Lukaku in the future. That's my strategy this year. That's how my team template is. 2 premium strikers. Earlier it was Lukaku and Ronaldo. Now it's going to be Ronaldo and Kane. I just think my formula for this year is 2 premium strikers and then 4 at the back. So Kane is my other transfer this week. He's got Leeds at home. Leeds do not keep clean sheets. Leeds are terrible at the back. If Conte's got the confidence, if Kane scored so many goals, I know people are saying Kane scored a lot for England in the international break, but it was against weaker teams. I know that. But have you seen Leeds defend? Have you seen the state of Leeds' defence this season? It's not great. And if Kane's got a bit of confidence, I'm more confident in him than having Tony from Brentford. So I think it's a -4 point hit. However, I've now got Kane. I've spent the money. I've got no money in the bank, so I can afford for the price rises to happen. And yeah, I think the team looks good. I don't think hopefully, I say this a lot, I'm not going to be taking any more -4 point hits. I've got a team that's in a good position right now. Steele's in goal, which is a slight worry. I don't know what he's going to be like for Brighton. In defence, Trent's got Arsenal at home. Livramento has Norwich, which could be a good game. Livramento is an injury doubt. If he doesn't play, I have got Tierney who can come off the bench, which I'm not happy about, but at least Tierney's an attacking fullback, so even if Tierney doesn't keep a clean sheet, he could come in. But I'm hoping Livramento plays because it's a great fixture. And then there's Diaz and Chilwell, who have Everton at home and Leicester away, which isn't great, but you know, they're good players at good teams, so a clean sheet would be nice. In midfield, I'm sticking with captaincy on Salah, even though it's Arsenal who have been defensively better this season. It's Salah, I'm sticking with him. I'm still on perma-captain Salah, so Salah is going to be my captain. Smith Rowe, Liverpool away, it's a tricky game, but you never know. He could pop up with a goal, he could pop up with an assist. Gallagher, Burnley, a good fixture for Gallagher, and Rafinha with Tottenham. And then up front, I've got the 2 big guns. Bang Bang, Ronaldo and Kane. I'm hoping for big things from just one of them. Watford away and Leeds at home are great fixtures. So I'm hoping my big strikers, we've gone big up front, I'm hoping it pays off. That's my team for Game Week 12. Let me know in the comments if you think it's crazy that I've spent so much money on my strikers. Let me know what you've done. On Twitter, it's at -4 points. We're also on Instagram at -4 points. Like and subscribe on YouTube. You know the game. Help a brother out. And good week with your Game Week 12s.